Guess that's pretty good. Let me get an audio check, guys. I don't rearrange my camera. Good audio. Thank you, Bob. Tater salad. Wow. It's a hell of a handle. That's what I often say offline. Something's wrong. There's a tater in them onions. Let's see. All right. Okay. Before we get started, if you go to the, I don't know why these, I can never find glasses that fit my face. Always nose pieces, something wrong. In the description box, if you want to follow along, or if you want to just listen, that's cool too. But there's a free download with over 150 predictions we'll be discussing in this video right now. In the description box, it's a Podia link. I also have some other materials that are absolutely free on Podia as well. Yeah. Also, underneath the free Podia downloads, there's also a Buy Me a Coffee link if some of you know how to use that. So, I started a couple minutes late because DHL just showed up on the property. And they don't like coming too close because Rottweiler and half-mixed pit bull looks pretty menacing. I just got this. From the United Kingdom, Peter. Okay. Put that away for later. All right, I'm gonna look at the comment section real quick. I'm gonna get this started. A lot of people have been waiting for this. I'm sorry, guys. It literally took me. I had to watch over 30 hours of predictions videos in the playlist to put this list together and to put it together because the list is very comprehensive. I mean, the exact dates the predictions were made, how many days ago from today, it's all on this list. So, I just wanted to be very thorough. Pamela, Wendy, I know I seen Shiva earlier. Got some moderators in there. Let's see. Where art thou? Okay, guys. You know me, I'm not going to do call-outs. And I'm not one to waste any time. So listen, I'm just giving y'all a couple minutes for those of you who want to just go. Hey, Shiva. For those of you who just want to go, thank you, Elizabeth, who want to go to Podia, it's real fast download. You can get that whole PDF. It's absolutely free. You guys know I'm not going to charge you for it. It's, that type of information should be accessible to everybody. Break free or die trying. Adventure time with dad and daughter. I hear it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting for a few more people to download that. JJ Recon. For my members are solely supporting Archaix right now. I don't have exclusive material for the members. And I mentioned that twice in prior presentations. But that's kind of not true. They do have some cool emojis, like 6 of them, all named different things, like Errant is one of them, Bard, Cirrus. But we have new ones like Tome Warden, Druid. Oh, there's a really good one. Somebody else suggested this one. It will be added. Sybil. Yeah, I'll be adding those two. I'm still learning all the tech material, guys. All right, we got 750 people on board. I'm glad. Oh, I know a bunch of them are my haters, but that's cool. The world's full of haters. The world is absolutely packed, full of people that don't want to process information. They don't want to analyze a theory. They just want to take their present frames of reference right now and basically annul your findings without ever even trying to discover what cognitive leaps and what data sets led you to believe what you believe. I run into this all the time. I mean, even this morning, somebody had said something on the YouTube comments, and you guys know I have a habit. I screenshot everything because I have one of these days I'm going to do an entire video, and you're going to be surprised because you're going to go look for those comments and you're not going to find any of them on the thread. People come to my channel every single day, hitting that wall of cognitive dissonance, or maybe the data isn't something they can refute, but they just can't stand my voice. They can't stand my personality. They can't stand my past. So they're triggered into making a really pedantic or juvenile comment, and I call them out on that all the time. Like this morning, I screenshot another one. Again, comment's gone. I went back an hour later, went through the thread, looked through it, comment is gone. This happens so many times. I've already told y'all over and over, I've been screenshotting. One of these days, I'm going to release a video, and I'm just going to give them up. Here's what they said. Here's who it was. Here's all the screenshots and what my reply is each time, and they take it down. So other people come to my channel, and they get triggered. Oh, how come all your comment threads are full of positivity? Well, you do have to search for some negative comments. They're in there. I find them all the time. But you'd be surprised because I attend my comment sections and because I answer a lot of the comments, especially those that are attacking me. You'd be surprised how many people, once they see the response, take their comment down. So it's crazy. It does get exhausting time to time, but you know what? Matthew's coming on board next week, and that's going to help out a lot with that. Oh, I heard that one too, Shiva. What's crazy is I've got like 3 or 4 different pairs of reading glasses, and they're all different styles. This one right here's got real thin, like gold frame right here. The other ones are black. Cheap reading. There's nothing spectacular about these reading glasses at all. I got these idiots on other channels talking about I got computers inside my glasses that are telling me what to say. It's crazy. It's crazy. I guess my sunglasses, when I do my van vlogs in my sunglasses, I guess my sunglasses also have that feature. That's awesome. I'm like James Bond. That's cool. Now, remember, told you guys, just like my book was published in 2011, talking about 2012, nothing's going to happen. Remember, I released that video saying, hey guys, I seriously doubt anything's going to happen on September 23rd. All the hype, there's whole YouTube videos still in circulation talking about what's going to happen September 23rd. So, but I was saying, hey man, it's not. It's the 923 references and all those Hollywood productions are September 2023, as I show you in my 2 prior Carrington event videos. That's what those references are. People just get tired of hearing it every single year. More and more people who really are not qualified to be putting out a lot of these videos are just putting them out anyway, and they don't really they really don't do their homework. And a lot of it, it's not even research you need to do. It's just a lot of it's arithmetic. A lot of it is just common sense. But yeah, it's just crazy. But that's good. I know a bunch of you by now have already, thank you, Elizabeth, taken Nagagato, have taken me up on that. Dana, FKK, thank you, and gone and get that free download, because that is something you can always refer to. Now, what I'm proposing in this video is also absolute open disclosure. I do not have the time, nor do I have the technical capacity at the present time, doing everything that I'm doing, to maybe create a web page somewhere where somebody can take these 150 something predictions, and they go back 623 days from today, and we're going to go back and discuss every one of them. Now, need somebody really could use somebody to put all these predictions like in perspective, because many of the things I'm about to read off on this list, they have already come to pass. You guys have sent me emails saying, hey man, this event happened right here. I just can't keep up with all that. I'm just one guy. But I know that there can be a concerted effort to fill out this chart. And I know that a lot of people can provide details about things that happened in Australia, things that happened in Switzerland, things that happened in the Dominican Republic. I've got predictions. I'm bringing them all back to the table. All the predictions that I've ever made on this channel are in this list. So I know a lot of people can offer value and say, hey, man, this really did happen in Thailand, just like you said. This really happened in Canada, or this is undergoing right now in Canada. And yes, a lot of predictions have not happened yet, and they have not been fulfilled yet. So I'll start at the top of this list to bring some things to your attention. Like, for example, there's over 200 isometric projections of events that are in the predictions playlist and in my published books that have already happened in the past and can be verified. We don't need to wait for future events. I've already showed over 200 events that have happened in relatively modern times that are linked to historic counterparts that are in this isometric palindromic patterning. So the phenomenon is absolutely real. Time-space is structured in palindromes. Events, here's how I start the chart. Events are a part of an ever-unfolding construct, and many of the events are equidistant from prior events that are so similar in nature, the two events are distinct in concept. The two events are distinct not in concept but in occurrence. Many of the following events on this list have already been fulfilled, and some at varying degrees, while others are slowly developing into fulfillment and more are still waiting to be fulfilled. This is where everybody can provide value because people have different parts of the puzzle. So anyway, there will also never come 100% fulfillment to all predictions. It's impossible. It's impossible. Sometimes events are running in tandem with other events, and two different sets are both predicted, and one basically overpowers the other, and all the phenomena and energy out of one is absorbed into the other. These timelines converge a lot, and I've shown evidence of this on my channel. So despite the following events some of these have already been fulfilled, we can still put those on the chart because they do provide value, perspective to people. So despite this lack of perfect predictability, the structuring is still valuable as a method of event prediction. Now, I've never claimed 100% accuracy, and if that standard was necessary, then no one would ever take risks like I do in the publication of my output, especially on YouTube, where I don't fear criticism because the phenomenon is too well documented. There is a calendrical overlap here that needs to be addressed. And there are people who have detected this. I just haven't gone into it a lot because it's never really been necessary to go into the particulars, into the details until now, because I need you guys to understand something. All right. The names of the months. Many of you are familiar with this. We basically have the merging of two different calendars. One of them was a 10-month calendar. That 10-month calendar, this old Roman calendar, was changed by the Romans themselves when they added 2 months to the end of February. Now, what this does, a lot of ancient systems and ancient calendars all began at the vernal equinox or around that time. So when the Romans added 2 more months to their calendar, to a 10 calendar. This is why we still have the carryover of September, October, November, December. We basically have 7, 8. Well, December is 10. Yes, 7, 8, 9, and 10. September, October, November, December is 7, 8, 9, and 10. But that's not what they are. They're actually the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th months. The reason that the overlap happens is because the Romans added those 2 months, and the 2 months were not added to the end of the year as we know it. They were added to the ancient Roman year, which ended in February. So this is why when predictions are made for certain years, there's a 2-month carryover into the next year. And we need to pay attention to that because many of my predictions on this list are for 2022. And a lot of them are for 2023. And it just blurs. It's a real blur when some events will bleed into the others. So you need to understand the mechanics of timekeeping systems to understand event prediction models. So that's just the only thing we need to cover. There's nothing else you need to know. But you already knew something was wrong. Those of you who have thought about it when you understood that the last 4 months of our calendar the months were named after numbers that don't comport with the actual number of the month, and that's why. So anyway, let's get on to it. So here's a few past events you need to remember. Now, if you remember, on my channel, I had announced the SpaceX launch, and SpaceX did a real massive media campaign saying, hey, look, we're going to launch 2 guys into space. Elon Musk was out parading the fact that they were going to launch this deal. Well, I ran the date sequence predictive analytics patterns on that and isometric projections and came up with something very interesting, but I made a mistake. The mistake is I added details that I didn't find in the projections. And many of you called me on that, and I admitted it, and it's cool. Even though the prediction was 100% accurate, it was also inaccurate. Let me explain. SpaceX launched 2 astronauts into space, and they highly publicized it. And I ran the algorithms on it, and come to find out there was going to be a detonation of that craft. It was going to blow up. I published that it was going to blow up. Mentioned it in several videos that's going to be a disaster. That morning that spacecraft launched. Do I know if 2 astronauts were on board? I don't. Do I know if it really went to space? I don't know any of those details. But that craft did not detonate. There was no disaster, and I was crestfallen. I was like, man, how could it be, man? The numbers don't lie. I'm looking at this. There's no way this is wrong. It didn't take me but a few hours, and my emails were blowing up when people were telling me all about a second secret, non-publicized space launch by SpaceX the exact same day, only hours later. SpaceX Starship prototype SN4 at Boca, at the Boca site, exploded on the launch pad. The algorithm was absolutely correct. I introduced the folly by thinking it was that particular launch because I didn't have the data. I didn't know that there was going to be a second launch. They did not release that to the public. The second one blew up, detonated. There were no astronauts on board. The astronauts were on board the first launch, and that's why I assumed 2 astronauts were going to die. So anyway, having said all that, I used isometric projections to show in the past that the U.S. Army had surrounded Washington, D.C. and fenced it off in the past. Isometric projections show that exact patterning for the events that happened in 2020, 2021. So the partitions and fencing around Washington, D.C. Now, in the isometric projection in the past, it was the U.S. military who put those fences up because they were pissed off at the United States senators, representatives, and politicians. Now, I don't know, because the official story we have about what happened in Washington, D.C. is basically put out by the media. We don't know if that official story is true, but in the isometric patterns, it was the U.S. military that did that in the 1800s. Now, I showed that in the video. Also, the trucker convoys, isometrically perfect with 1975, 1974, and 2021 and 2022. Absolutely perfect. Square Peg on her own channel has also shown this pretty good. So, also, before we get into this list, you guys remember hundreds of YouTube doomsayers, hundreds of them, were all saying when COVID broke out that this was the new normal, that this was going to be a permanent feature. Y'all remember all that? All the doomsaying. They said that soon the entire population would be forced to participate. The doomsayers were everywhere on this, not me. Go back to my videos, listen to them, because I was very, very specific. I was very specific on at least 3 different occasions when I used isometric projections to show that this is very temporary. You not going to restaurants because they're closed, you being locked down, you being forced to wear this, the idea that the whole population is going to be forced to do this, all this is going to pass over by February 2022, and we will basically be returned to normalcy, where everything is open. We can shop, we can move around, basically for the most part, freedom of travel, freedom of civilization, infrastructure, culture. It says this is going to be temporary. Man, I didn't get anybody on board. I caught a lot of flack for making that prediction. But when it came true, like right here in Texas, and that's for most of the world, there are still pockets of resistance where the liberals have iron fist dominion over small populations in areas where they're still you know, have people on a modicum of lockdown, but the lockdowns aren't total and they're not like anything they used to be. So the prediction is absolutely accurate. Most of the world's moving forward. That's behind us now. So anyway, so let's get this party started. We're talking about 623 days ago. I made a list of predictions on January 15th using date sequence, predictive analytics, and isometric projection. Excuse me. This entire list was done within a week and a half of Trump being removed from office. I wanted to iterate that. I wanted you guys to understand that, because when that series of events took place, YouTube was again full of all kinds of misinformation. The Patriot movement, patriots all over the YouTube scape, these talking heads were going off talking about that within 2 weeks, the U.S. military is going to make their move. Within 3 weeks, within 4 weeks, within 5 weeks, this is going to be coming undone. Trump's coming back immediately. Man, I was not saying that. I said I was saying something a little bit different. And I'm going to remind you of that in these predictions. Now, there was another set of YouTubers, a whole nother clique, who were straight up doom saying this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the 7 years of tribulation. This is the beginning of this. This is the beginning of that. It's not going to get any better. We're going straight into darkness. We're telling me. And I was saying completely the opposite. And I still am. And I'm going to remind you in this video as well. So before we get into this first section, a series of predictions done 623 days ago, I'm going to look at this comment section, make sure my audio is still good. Let's see. All right. All right. I'm looking for my audio check. All good, mate. Thank you, Neolithic Woods Runner. Okay. All good. Thank you, guys. That's enough, people. Appreciate it. Hey, Face Diaper, I just seen you in there. Got another moderator. Christine's in there. I'm just going through real quick. Get a feel. Oh, wow. 1,200 people in the chat. That's pretty good. Pretty damn good, man. All right. And I want to go back and see that. I saw somebody said something about toroidal something. But you know what? That's all right. Thank you guys for those donations. They really do help. I will be doing a video in the next day or two where I'm going to be showing my new shed, my new van, my new studio. I'm going to be showing you guys everything because I've been very busy. I don't hire contractors to come. I've been a contractor for too long. I don't hire contractors to come in and do work for me. I got a buddy of mine who's a master carpenter, and I help him. I am not the one who did all this fantastic stuff that I'm about to show you in this video. What was done to my van, what was done to the shed, what was done to this building here. It's he knows his business. But and he just might have more tattoos than me, and I'm pretty upset about that. But other than that, I'll be showing you what I've been doing. I've been really busy with a lot of property upgrades. As soon as I make $1, you know where I spend it. I go buy wood. Let's see. Oh yeah, I see a couple comments. Yeah, I do have a podcast with a giant. He's been well known, but he was famous before he ever came to YouTube. He's got over 250,000 subscribers, and really good, likable guy. I like him, and I've actually watched about 30 of his videos, and that's in the past like 3 years. All right, so I was really surprised when his people reached out and contacted me and said he wanted to talk to me. So I was pretty surprised by that. That will be in October. Okay, let's get on with these predictions. So you remember, I'm looking for somebody, contact me by email, who wants to put every single prediction, everything on this chart on a website somewhere or on a page, whatever. I'm not well versed in all that stuff. Put it somewhere where the public has access to it and has the ability to submit like upgrades, like hey man, on this section here, on this line right here, this actually did happen right here, and we can fill all this in. Not that the public can just go in and manipulate all the data and fill it in, but they can submit it so we can fact check it, make sure it's legitimate, and then insert it where it goes. If somebody has the qualifications and the time to do something like that, listen, I would actually find more time to go do deeper dives. The only thing stopping me from doing a lot of predictive analytics is time. And I use that time to do YouTube stuff because YouTube is paying the bills. And not just YouTube, but you guys know that I've got several books published. And not all my income streams are from published books. So I sell a lot of my unpublished manuscripts, my chart packs. Also the super pack ended up being something really popular and allowed me to do some extensive property upgrades. So I'm not going to sit here and be deceitful with you guys. I'm doing pretty good, no doubt. But as fast as I make that money, I put it right into materials, man, and build something with it. I'm going to show you that video so you guys can see what it is. But what I'm asking you guys for right now, I don't have the qualifications to put this page together, this website, all these predictions, so we can keep it going. Because once I see that this has been done by somebody and that this work isn't just falling on deaf ears, you know what? I'll start doing more predictive analytics. I'll take time out every week to go deeper and look in more and more directions, because we're going to go deep here. You're going to hear things that you haven't heard before, because I've been able to take past predictions in the past and basically upgrade them with more recent analytics, and it adds more color to the prediction. You'll see what I'm talking about. But we're going to start this with 623 days ago, January 15th, a week and a half after Trump is removed from office. I'm already releasing a video on YouTube. It is still there for you to watch, showing that Texas will begin enacting policies and laws that are absolutely contrary to federal policies and actions. And I know many of you know what I'm talking about, because Texas did that about 3 months later. A whole series of not only property laws, gun laws, a whole series of legislation that just went totally. As a matter of fact, when the liberals in Texas, the representatives and senators in Texas that were liberal, that tried to stop Texas from passing new gun laws, guess what Texas did? They passed 7 new anti-federal gun laws in Texas. Anybody can Google that. All kinds of people can now walk around open carry, as long as you stay in Texas. You go out of Texas, the federal government can get your ass. But here, Texas wasn't allowing that prosecution. Now, interestingly, to stop that, all the Democrats fled to Washington. You guys don't remember that, do you? I got to bring that to your attention. Remember, in the news, it was a big deal. All the Democrats fled on a plane, and they were videotaped partying and drinking on a plane, leaving Texas, because they thought they had basically cornholed the Republican and Conservative Party and stopped them from taking the vote. But the governor passed it anyway. Governor Greg Abbott passed a whole series of laws. Then Governor Greg Abbott and the Texas Attorney General's office published it widely, nationwide. It made headlines that Texas is going to lock up and arrest every single Democrat that fled from the legislature and went to Washington. And when they come back to Texas, they would be arrested. Y'all remember all that? Yeah, all this. Texas went off. So diplomatic relations problems between Mexico and the U.S. would emerge. Remember, this is 623 days ago. This is right after Trump left office. These predictions. Inexplicable fires will erupt across communities of the United States, and some of them in Canada. Now, I know that there's got to be a handful of you guys that understand what was going on in the Midwest and in California. Right after I made this prediction, it launched off. It never hit mainstream news. But the mainstream reported forest fires. They reported because of dry season and all that. But that's not what people with boots on the ground were seeing. They were seeing entire middle-class American neighborhoods that were incinerated from the sky when the trees, bushes, and grass was untouched. These are DEW weapons, directed energy weapons. This is what was happening. Our infrastructure was being attacked. Nature was unharmed. Now, Some of you know what I'm talking about, and you've done that type of research. This is very advanced technology. I'm not even convinced that this technology is of modern provenance or has anything to do with local humans. So remember, Phoenix is a weapon in the sky. This could very well be something very similar. But that prediction was made 623 days ago. That was before all this stuff started going on. Remember, guys, there was like 3,000 of these fires all going on at the same time. And when you looked on a map of there was almost none in Mexico and only a few across the Canadian border. They were all centrally located in the United States. It's crazy. Texas, there will be discussions of separating from federal-controlled USA. Yes, this is something you guys probably don't know as well, but here in Texas, there's been a lot of talk of secession because we have the money, we have the people, we have the infrastructure, and Texas exports energy. We don't import it. So electricity as well. Texas rises to power in the U.S. as major population shifts occur and companies relocate to Texas. I said that 623 days ago, way before many major tech companies and very famous individuals moved their operations to Texas. U.S. population experiences a new patriot movement, a pro-America sentiment, basically anti-globalist sentiment. Now, there's always been patriots here. To basically predict this means there's going to be people who have traditionally been outside the patriot fold now joining it, and this is what we find, and we'll see more of that here in a minute. Okay. President Trump, after leaving office, will remain in the public eye and continue in some form in American politics. That was a prediction that was published right here a week and a half after Trump left office. Now, what makes that prediction valuable is the fact that there was a lot of YouTubers talking about they're about to lock Trump up. Never happened. All right. Right that first year after that happened, Trump was supposed to get locked up. A lot of YouTubers talking about it. Yeah, don't worry, they're going to end him. They're going to go and take him out. They're going to collapse his family, collapse all his prestige. Since they did what they did, now they're going to go in and attack him personally or remove him from the equation. Never happened. The man's very protected. Now, he did remain in American politics. Now, I understand many of you are not in the United States. Many of my listeners are not here, so you really don't know the full extent of the Trump movement here in the United States. You don't understand this man has done something in this country since he left office that no former president in the history of the United States has ever accomplished. This man has brought people together. He's got an army of civilians at his disposal. This man's done that. Rallies and basically saying everything that people want to hear. Now, you also have to understand that I am on board with the idea that it's just one arm of the deep state taking out another one. But we're going to get to those predictions here in a minute because we do have basically a change of guard about to happen. In fact, it's already happened in England. England just didn't suffer the death of a queen. A major deep state operative was removed from power and replaced with somebody else in England right before that. So anyway, let's go with, Trump remaining on the political scene. That prediction right there is unique because everybody else is talking about him getting locked up. Or just totally abandoning, being sick with the whole idea because he was already 74 years old and just not returning to politics. It's over for him. And it was just the opposite. So, yeah, no other former president in history has ever done what he did. Just stay on the lecture circuit, stay on the doing rallies. Rallies are super expensive, but his constituents are paying for it. An American president will be removed shortly before or after taking office. This is 2022, or that cusp I'm telling you guys about, 2023. Remember how the months fall. We are currently not on a straight year. The year has been contorted. The year doesn't actually end till the end of February. So, let's see. A member of a German-descended Trump family will rise to power. Again, this is 2022, 2023. An assassination attempt will occur on a new U.S. leader. The USA and Russia will enter a major agreement. I am convinced that agreement has already happened, and we're gonna catch wind of this really soon. Yeah, for those of you who think the United States and Russia are enemies and all that, that's all posturing, and it's not accurate at all. So, opposition party leader in the United States will be arrested. Again, we're waiting on that to occur right now. Who it's going to be, I don't know. Now, I am not past the idea of Trump being arrested for something. It very well could happen, but it will be very short-lived. But yeah, I can see that. So those blamed for USA's decline and decadence will be removed from power. This will happen almost immediately after the change of guard. Political opposition to new U.S. administration ceases. U.S. population adores the new leader. U.S. officials take over liberal leftist news agencies. This is unprecedented. This is like a return to 1933, 34, and 35 Nazi Germany. Outside the USA, there are still leftist liberal media spinning false narratives about what is happening inside the United States and other Western nations. This is all that cusp period, 2022, 2023. After the change of guard, after many liberals and socialists are removed from power in several Western nations almost simultaneously, as soon as the American president is changed out, Zionist-controlled media networks will campaign worldwide to convince the world that the United States of America is the new Nazi empire. U.S.-Canadian relations with China will be estranged. The U.S. relationship with the Vatican will be estranged. USA becomes isolationist, internalizes its wealth, and focuses on internal problems. The economic restructuring of the United States brings relief to prospective homeowners and farmers. The U.S. enacts, and don't get me wrong, guys, it's just this little section here. A lot of my predictions are not about the United States. It's just how this started. The United States enacts a new minimum wage law that is actually received well by the people. Huge growth in employment in the United States. Starts in 2023. New American economic system begins. The people benefits the people and brings much relief, spreads to other nations that are closely allied to the United States. USA embarks on a major infrastructure rebuilding and updating campaign. The USA will undergo a complete restructuring. Restructuring of the United States will bring back its economic superpower status, and very quickly. This restructuring will also involve a massive overhaul against the media and news agencies that have dealt treacherously against the United States and its people. Widespread banning of democratic, socialist, and communist media venues. They'll be shut down right here in the United States. USA will exit the United Nations. Anti-Semitism will erupt as Jewish conspiracies are widely publicized. Now, I don't know if that's just going to be in the United States. It's going to be here, but it could be abroad as well. So, though that list of predictions was 623 days ago, that was a long time ago. But we need to refine that. We need to bring that in now, and that's exactly what I did. Those were made 21 months ago. The next series was published 485 days ago on June 2nd, 2021. Published on my YouTube channel. Those videos are still up. This is over 16 months ago. Now, I didn't even discover this till last night when I was using my date calculator. On my date calculator, I had plugged in the first video and the second video, and it was exactly 138 days apart. Total coincidence, or was it? But I found it very interesting that 485 days ago was the 138th day since I started doing predictions on YouTube. Anyway, so 16 months ago in my predictions videos, in my predictions playlist, I explained that in 2022, which could carry over to 2023, the CIA will come under intensive investigation. The FBI is accused of anti-American activities. A CIA leader or administrator will be killed outside the U.S. borders in a foreign country. It will make the news. Now, remember, guys, I'm speaking as if events have not happened yet. Many of these events or variants of have already occurred. Now, and I need you guys to fill the details because you've been sending me the emails to show me. I just haven't, I don't have the tenacity to amass all this data when I'm doing so much else. So New York will be in the news as needing a federal bailout. In China, a dam will collapse. A dam collapse will kill a lot of people, but it will be covered up in a media blackout, and the rest of the world, mainstream media, will not report it. In China, a storm will result in the failure of dozens of dams, resulting in widespread infrastructure damage. The U.S. military will pull out of a very embarrassing war. Yeah, this prediction was made way before we pulled out of Afghanistan. And yes, it was highly embarrassing on the world stage. Reports of several child trafficking operations would be caught and be publicized. And yeah, for a while there's about a 6-month period where that's all you saw in mainstream media. Child traffic rings were being caught everywhere, and all the members run in on. I am not talking about the other group of YouTubers that are talking about all the underground facilities full of children being saved as U.S. military goes and from. I'm not talking about all that. I'm not even entertaining that. I've already told you guys what was really going on with those underground detonations as they're clearing out new areas for their subterranean civilization where they're going to hide from the Phoenix in 2040. So that has nothing to do with blowing up deep state facilities to rescue children. It had everything to do with blowing up giant limestone caverns and making them bigger so they can turn them into biospheres so they can survive underground while the rest of us up here have to fade the Phoenix. Now, see. The elite are creating the illusion of victory, allowing for their puppets to be taken down. It's already begun. Many socialist, globalist puppets of different countries, they're already being taken down. But most of them will be taken down when a significant event occurs here before the end of the year. That event has everything to do with basically the fall of the WEF. And we'll get to that in a minute. Let's see. Through staged events, the elite will provide relief to populations of many nations to steer them toward a hidden agenda. Those were 485 days ago. But 439 days ago, well over a year, on July 19th, 2021, I made this series of predictions using date sequence, predictive analytics, and isometric projections. This is over 14 months ago. In 2022, a possible ICBM nuclear exchange or a threat of a nuclear exchange will occur involving the United States in 2022. Now, when I say involving, it could have just been widely publicized here. Now, a publicized increase in UFO sightings in 2022, a major push by mainstream media to normalize UFO activity. I don't know if some of y'all have noticed, but you remember the History Channel used to be about academic, serious stuff, and they did not entertain anything like truthers do today, like cryptozoology and ancient mud floods and civilization. They were very tightly controlled, very conservative. History Channel now is promoting nothing but alien invasion, UFOs, ETs. That's all they promote now. The History Channel. It's crazy. So, U.S. president removed midterm in 2022. The reason this is predicted twice is because this was a different series of data sets that I was operating with at this time. Anytime there's a prediction on this list mentioned twice, it was seen from multiple different mathematical vantage points. So here's another series of data points that leads to U.S. president removed midterm 2022. Now, when I say removed, it may not be a removal as far as a vote or an impeachment. It could be assassination. It very well could be that he just doesn't wake up one morning and they say he died of old age. It could be a medical removal because he's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Also, 439 days ago, July 19th, predicted a change in the government of China in 2022. Now, I really hard suspicion that the nationalists were going to take over in 2022 from the communists, but that may be 2023. The change in government in 2022 seems to be economic, seems to be something else that I had not taken into consideration before, because there are now things that I'm going to get further down this list and you'll hear them, but there are now things I have to take into consideration about a vast, major I'm talking about intercontinental wide economic alliance that has been building, and Putin is a member of this alliance, and it means nothing but bad news for the WEF. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. A major change in NBC or NBC broadcasting and ownership, or major NBC incident in the year 2022. Gold and silver will hit record highs in 2022. Remember, that prediction extends to late February of 2023. But gold and silver will hit record highs. I believe has everything to do with the collapse of a major bank chain, basically the writing on the wall for the WEF, and the emergence to power of an Eastern Bloc nations that are now the economic superpower of the world. So gold and silver hit high records in 2022. U.S. media will broadcast about a major U.S. presidential corruption in 2022. I don't know what that's about, but in the isometric projections is there. So I'm thinking that I don't know, old Biden and Hunton might have all their business on mainstream media, just fully out there. Some of these networks like NBC is a part of this other prediction. They might not have a choice, but have to go ahead and broadcast these things. I don't know. So a new monetary system will begin or be announced in 2022. I believe that it will be announced in 2022 for 2023. Now, highly viewed death of a member of the U.S. media seen on a live broadcast in 2022. A highly viewed death. Somebody's going to die, maybe a suicide, but it's going to be widely broadcast. It's going to be a live event and somebody dies. Now, U.S. officials force a famous actor or actress to leave the United States in 2022, and it will be widely publicized as well. A major bank operating in the United States will collapse in 2022. Remember, that goes to the end of February of 2023. U.S. files or announces antitrust suits against big tech monopolies in 2022. I've already gone into detail about this. As soon as we have a change of the guard in the United States, and then other nations follow suit, instantly bringing down their liberal and their socialist puppets, that change of the guard is going to initiate some retaliatory tactics by the new conservative movement. The neo-conservative Christian Reich that's going to arise up in America is going to enact their vengeance against the liberals and the socialists and the Democratic and basically the Democratic carryout, the holdouts. It's going to get ugly. Just as far left as the liberals were allowed to go, the world is going to watch stunned as the religious Reich is allowed to go to the far right. Yeah, it's crazy. What I'm seeing is crazy. So, U.S. enacts legislation to protect retirement benefits in 2022, and that's going to make a lot of people happy. 13.5 months ago, I released another predictions video 412 days ago. This was August 15th, 2021. China loses military industrial contracts with other nations due to natural disasters and flooding. Their weapons districts where they manufacture arms and stuff are flooded out. Can't make anything. Democratic U.S. Supreme Court justice will retire. That's already happened. Disaster in India, a mine incident. Member of United Nations will shock the General Assembly with accusations of corruption. Joint U.S.-Russia weather weapons and weather modification technology will be used in concert. This is an alliance between the United States and Russia to attack somebody using weather modification weapons. New evidence of President Kennedy's assassination will be released to the public. U.S. president removed from office midterm. This is the third reference. This is a completely different data set. All right. U.S. President removed from office midterm 2022. Major investigation of a New York City bank. I don't know if that's connected to the collapse of a bank chain. I don't know yet. I mean, that's not how this data doesn't just scream things out and tell me stuff like that. So anti-abortion program will lose 100% of its funding. Now, this may have everything to do with the fact that the Supreme Court overturned a very liberal ruling, which shocked the world, the Roe versus Wade. UN building in New York is abandoned. Supreme Court addresses a new election law. Britain's health organization comes under investigation. New law enforcement group is started to combat corporate crime. The United States is going to enact a new type of police against big tech. 1 or 2 attempts to assassinate a U.S. president. Zionism is officially recognized as racism. The SEC imposes unpopular restrictions on trading. Now, this is trading. Don't know if it infers crypto or if it's talking about the normal stock markets. I don't know. We're trading on new ground here. The reason I don't know is because the isometric projection is showing me what happened in the past involving the SEC restrictions and trading at different dates in the past. But crypto didn't exist on those dates, so I don't know if it's a carryover. U.S. Senate to pass a banking reform bill. All right, this is 2022 or 2020, the beginning of 2023. So we move on now to October 15th last year, 2021. Was 352 days ago. It's a little bit, just a slightly less than 12 months ago. These 3 predictions were made on YouTube. They're still there for everybody to see. Blanket censorship of big tech is going to be stopped. Curtailing of the power of big tech will begin in 2022. The U.S. president removed from office. Here it is. Here's a 4th reference. U.S. president removed from office in 2022. This does not mean Trump is returning to office. I have that right there in that column. Major shift from mainstream media viewership in 2022 to alternative media increases. People just don't believe in mainstream media no more. January 21st of this year, 2022, I released another video. It's a lot of predictions in this video. This was 253 days ago. Some of these events are already unfolding or have already unfolded. Like I said, I need you guys to fill in the blanks. Major shift in the political affiliation of Democrats in America will have millions embrace the Republican Party in 2022. You know what? I've been reading for so long. Let me check back one more time because I'd hate to not. Let me check back. Sound check real quick. This is too much data for me not to check my connection. You guys know I live way out here in sticks. Good. Thank you. Fun with rolling. Good. All right. Blazing Beard, Squirrel Sniper, Bob. Oh no. Thank y'all, man. Larry Bird, that's good. All right, so let me go. We're not even halfway done, guys, so let's move on before we can do some Q&A. All right, so the first prediction that was made earlier this year, 253 days ago, was major shift in the political affiliation of Democrats in the United States. That in the millions, they will begin to embrace the Republican Party in 2022. This has already happened. For those of you outside the United States, I'm telling you now, I live here, and I'm telling you now it's already happened. So majority of population loses faith in the media narratives and embraces fact of the reality of fake news. Massive loss of viewers in 2022. Okay, this is from a different data set, but this is basically the same prediction as months earlier. The U.S. government will target big tech companies to break them up 2022, 2023. All right. Big tech monopolies will begin changing their names and losing legal fights with the U.S. government in 2022. I said big tech monopolies will begin. This fight is going to last all through 2023 and 2024. Now, rise of nationalists in China against the Chinese Communist government in 2022. Will they succeed? I don't know. But are they already causing problems? Hell yeah. Anybody who lives in China can tell you that. So, and I say problems. They're problems for the Communist Party. So, communism's dead. It's so antiquated. Let's see. Deep State will remove some of their puppets from being leaders of nations in 2022. That'll carry over into 2023 for sure. The conspiracy of COVID will be widely publicized in 2022. Major report will circulate that climate change is an absolute hoax. A publicized kidnapping, but it will be a false flag event. It is entirely staged. A commercial jet with hundreds on board will crash, but this is staged as well. And what this means, what I mean by staged here, the people might have really died. It might have really crashed, but it wasn't an accident. It's very hard to separate these type of little nuances in date sequence predictive analytics. All right. 2 or 3 nations have their governments removed in military coups. Televised event watched by many when suddenly someone on the screen commits suicide. It is not staged event. It's real. 2022, 2023. A Canadian leader will be removed from office in 2022. Remember, it's a carryover till end of February. A new push to produce oil in the United States. U.S. enforces new voting laws in 2022. That could be the beginning of 2023. The U.S. government will file antitrust suits to break up tech giants. Again, same prediction as twice before, but it's a different data set that's operable here. Many globalist-backed leaders are removed from office in 2022. A U.S. general is catapulted into position of international leadership in 2022. That's pretty interesting. I have no idea where that's going. So Russia detonates a weapon of mass destruction in 2022. I'm not saying it's nuclear here because the isometric projections don't really say it's nuclear, but it's a weapon of mass destruction in 2022. Plans for a new financial system will be widely publicized. That doesn't mean it's coming to pass. A nuclear scare event involving several countries will unfold in 2022. I don't know if that's already happened yet, because I remember a couple months ago when Putin put his nuclear forces on standby and Western mainstream media broadcast it everywhere. To me, that's a nuclear scare event. So I could take that as an accurate interpretation, but I don't want to say that yet because the year is not over and there just might be something more tangible. So, major push by media to push an alien invasion scenario. This is setting the stage for what they're going to do next year with the Carrington event, the new Carrington event. Massive flooding in Australia. I got a lot of emails from Australians that told me I hit the nail on the head. When that prediction was made, Australia was suffering a very dry season. I predicted that they were going to have the wettest season attended by floods, the wettest season in 50 years. Anybody can go back and watch my Australia video. It is still on YouTube. I don't take them down. Came to pass just like that. We don't even need, you guys can fill the notes on that one. We don't even need that. Everybody knows Australia, some of that flood water's still there. A member of the royal family will die. This was in a video predicted 231 days before it happened. We all know the Queen died. 231 days before she died, it was in this video that a member of the royal family will die. U.S. becoming an oil producer will catapult the Middle East into panic and war involving Israel. This happens in 2023. It is a perfect parallel to the Yom Kippur War of 1973. 2003. False Carrington event, an EMP, an X-flare, or, this is what I'm starting to believe now, an AI takeover and a defensive takedown of the internet is in the playbook. It's very plausible. I'm going to get into these details in a minute. I'm going to give you a summary at the end of this video. But it's very plausible that the bad guy that we are being groomed by Elon Musk and other media outlets to believe is the reason why things are going to be the way they are in the future is because of the appearance of a rogue AI. Remember, this is Archaix, Advanced Research of Chronological History of Artificial Intelligence X. If there's going to be any type of AI, basically buffoonery going on, you're going to hear it from me first. I'm telling you now, I'm calling bullshit. When you exist within an artificial construct, when you live inside a construct that is ruled by artificial intelligence X, AI X will never allow for the creation of another AI X inside the simulacrum. It's not going to. Remember, it's a jealous God. This is all media hype and BS. AI will be blamed for the internet takedown. So, and the new internet will appear pretty fast, but it's going to be an internet with all kinds of governors and all kinds of restrictors on there to make sure that, you know, you just can't say everything that you've been saying. So let's go with World Economic Forum has lost power and their agendas have no more power. The reign of Davos is ending. Now, we've already seen signs of that. A lot of people have already seen signs of that. But why this is happening is what I'm going to get into in this video. Putin is making power moves against deep state globalists. Many nations will adopt nationalist strategies and focus on their culture and countries, truly a weakening of globalist power structure. The European Union and the United Nations will lose power. A border dispute concerning an island or a chain of islands will be settled in Canada's favor. Now, this little small list here is highly specific to Canada. Let's get to it. All right. Major financial institution is forced to break up. This is 2022 carrying over into 2023. A vote of no confidence in Parliament will result in the sudden election in 2022-2023. Thank you, Dino. Trudeau's party is removed. A state in Canada will change the language of the court from French to English. A new election reform bill introduced that limits campaign contributions. There will be a large movement to decriminalize drugs. A scandal will be published concerning Quebec's construction industry. A hard freeze will kill about a dozen people and damage infrastructure significantly. An avalanche or two will result in fatalities. Banking institutions will come under federal investigation in Canada. Jewish population will come under heightened scrutiny because of a singular event. A possible evacuation may occur. That means Canadians are pissed about something. Canada, more than 3 liberal leaders will announce their resignations. One of them will be a senator. A freak windstorm or tornado makes major headlines. A bank's assets will be seized by the Canadian government. A major agreement concerning timber mutually benefits Canada and the United States. Conservative leaders will assume power in Canada. A liberal holdout state will threaten to secede from Canada, but the resistance will be quelled. 239 days ago, on February 4th of this year, 2020, this prediction was made. Trump returns to power in the United States of America, but not as a president. That's a very highly specific prediction. Now, 236 days ago, predictions made on February 7th, 2022, this year. These all are highly central to Australia. Australia. Evidence will surface from October to November, that's this year, that Australia will begin rising as a superpower. It will take years to obtain that status, but there will be evidence that's going to be very noticeable to Australians in October or November that this is now on the table. It may have everything to do with the fact that that's going to be one of the safest areas in the world come the Phoenix. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I know for a fact, and I've told you in the past, that I have been interviewed by intelligence. I have no doubt about it, especially considering the amount of money they paid me just to run predictions for them in the tiny cubicle that they were in when they had me do this, and how the whole entire conversation. I told you guys in the past, I'm not gonna remove it from consideration that a lot of my predictions are watched by a lot of people. I'm just not. I can't imagine them not doing it when when isometric projections have been on the money so many times. But not only that, I have shown over 200 of them. So that many past examples cannot be ignored by an intelligent trier of fact. They have to take that into consideration. So anyway, Australia, evidence wills, okay. Australia, China is no longer a threat by the end of 2022 to the Australians. Australia, government makes demands of banks that are accused of illegal practices. Whatever's happening seems to be worldwide with the banking cartels. Whatever's going on, because I keep coming across banks in all my predictions for different nations. All right. Australian military will join those of an ally in an overseas operation. By the end of 2022, living conditions in the country will be improved. Now, you have to understand, this prediction was made in the middle of the COVID lockdowns. Australians had it bad. So already the prediction is slightly fulfilled. Australia, street production and other steel production and other national resources will begin an upswing. All right. For those of you new who have just joined in, who don't know this already, I just want to reiterate real quick. If you go to the description box and look in the description box, you'll see a Podia link. It's a free download. All 150 plus predictions that I am itemizing for you right now in this video are available to you for free. Just hit the link, go to Podia, download it. And while you're there, you'll see I provide a lot of other free materials too. Just click onto them, get them. They're yours. I just wanted to say that. Didn't mean to interrupt. Just wanted to say that. I just noticed that there's a lot of new people here. All right. Australia, the wettest in 50 years, record rainfall and flooding. Australia, we have corruption of high-ranking judicial officials exposed by the media. Australia, many liberals in elections will be completely voted out. Remember, this was predicted way earlier in the year. Australia, unexpected resignation of a member of the House of Representatives, and it will come as a surprise. Totally unexpected. Australia, government will enact reforms to attract foreign businesses to Australia. This might have something to do with what I was telling you guys about, that Australia is on the table by the deep staters to turn it into a superpower, or at least a place of refuge. I know for a fact my Phoenix research is followed by many. I just know it. Those of you who have been my long-term listeners and you've actually gone through my data sets and you know how real that 138-year periodicity of the Phoenix phenomenon is, you understand. Any government operative who goes through the same and publishes a report to his agency is also going to convey how important this is. The math don't lie. So anyway, unexpected, the government will enact reforms to attract foreign businesses to Australia. Major industrial dispute will be widely reported linking to mining or possibly uranium mining in Australia. This is an industrial dispute, and it will be in the media. Australia, overseas nuclear threat or a detonation results in Australia publicly condemning the incident and ending relations with a perpetrator. Thailand, this is the same day. This was published the exact same day. Thailand, due to overseas events, a movement in Thailand will start to change its own constitution. Thailand, due to events in China, there will be peace in Thailand through 2022. Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic is an overall peace and normality. It remains in stasis. Nothing changes. Dominican Republic, a demonstration, highly localized event, doesn't affect the whole country, gets out of control and results in several fatalities. I don't know if it's a music concert, I don't know what it is. 218 days ago, a prediction made February 25th, 2022. earlier this year, the beginning of this year. These all concern Switzerland. Remember, guys, in the Switzerland video, I gave you guys a heads up about the unusual character who had hired me to do these predictions. And I told him that I am not going to keep these from the public. And he was cool with that. He said, go ahead and share it on your channel. I don't care. But he paid me a lot of money just to run these predictions. This is back in February. Switzerland. Free trade agreement with the EU ends or is fundamentally changed in 2023. Switzerland, a collapse of a major bank chain or a change in the type of banking. It's unclear. Now, the method of banking changes could be it instead of just a full collapse. It's really unclear. So Switzerland, the WEF will suffer problems in 2022 and all through 2023 by other nations that are acting against the World Economic Forum. Remember, guys, I've told you over and over and over in my live presentations, those aren't predictions videos, but you guys know, you've been listening to me for a long time. I've told you guys many times that Klaus Schwab and the WEF, the whole 2030 agenda has fallen apart. They are now in defense mode. They are no longer trying to push that BS. Even the year that they skipped their meeting in Davos, so the 2 years they skipped their meeting in Davos, something was up, something was going on. Then they came back and they had a meeting in Davos, but it was fundamentally different. So it's almost as if they see the writing on the wall, or the deep state is about to undergo a change of guard because too many people in the world have woke up to all the faces that belong to the deep state. So it's time to remove them and take them out and replace them with patriotic puppets who are also going to do their bidding. So this huge transition of power isn't what you think, guys. The WEF is a Western economic power that controls Eastern economies, but the entire table is about to change, and I'm going to get to that in this video. So Switzerland, WEF suffers problems. Switzerland, events abroad will affect partners of the WEF and programs funded by the WEF. It's almost as if there is a concerted front by different nations to start attacking all the interests of the WEF. All right. Switzerland, WEF, the World Economic Forum power structure ends in the year 2023. Now, Switzerland, removal of liberals and socialists in the United States is followed by a removal of globalist leaders in many nations, has Switzerland on high alert through 2022 and 2023. Switzerland, 2023, anti-papal sentiment builds with the people of Switzerland, not the government. The people of Switzerland are fed up about something the Pope's done. Switzerland, a group of nations have entered a secret compact to unify their efforts to overthrow the World Economic Forum. Switzerland, other banks will induce government to enact bank reforms that appear to protect the public, but actually protect the banks. I have to put this into perspective. This occurs almost immediately after the collapse of a bank chain, or a fundamental collapse in the way banking is done. They're forced to change. Now, Switzerland, major bank in Switzerland will be implicated in a conspiracy, fraud. I am telling you that this is probably Goldman Sachs, or a Goldman Sachs owned or affiliated bank. Switzerland, spirit of nationalism begins to rise with the people. 180 days ago was half a year ago, 6 months ago. Prediction is made April 4th, 2022. All right. The U.S. will remove socialists from office. 2023, staged blackouts of infrastructure and communications. 2023, a staged Carrington event. You guys already know I have two full-length videos all about this and how date sequence, predictive analytics, and isometric projections show the 2023 false Carrington event, and how in one of those videos, 33 to 34 different Hollywood productions all encoded 2023 September in their deals. And all these YouTubers have completely misapplied that to September 23rd every year since it was first discovered in 2014. So anyway, that's 2023, the fall stage Carrington event, the takedown of the internet. This is why the deep state doesn't really care about all the events that are going on in the world, the change of guard. This is their trump card. Now, 59 days ago, prediction made August 8th, 2022. Crazy events of Biden's behavior and the failed policies of the Democrats is absolutely intentional. What is unfolding is the controlled collapse of the Democratic Party. Every bit of this is by design. 2023, the U.S. will become energy independent, which follows after Biden's removal from office. Biden will be removed from office. Here's a fifth reference to that. Now, new U.S. leaders will usher in new religious right ultra-conservatism in 2023. Guys, I'm not kidding. I've told you guys about 5 different times in videos that what's coming in the United States isn't what you're anticipating. They have allowed you to be so sickened and just by the reprehensible political behavior of our leaders, our leftist, liberal, socialist leaders that have been doing every single thing that is considered anti-American. They have been flaunting it. They've been doing this, but it was all by design. It's to get you to easily agree to the next regime change, which is going to be the Christian Reich. The Christian Reich is going to be ultra-conservative. This neo-conservatism is going to build and gain momentum very fast. And the worst type of political party is one where its leaders actually believe that they are allied to God, because then they can justify anything they do against anybody else. This new leadership, it's not going to be immediate. It starts in 2023 and it builds, but this is the type of mindset that will reinterpret the Constitution. It will reinterpret, not the liberal way, but absolutely ultra-conservative. It will have courts ruling who are citizens and who are not. So, and that's people who are citizens now. Their citizenship will come up under suspicion. And you think I'm talking about foreigners that are coming in here. I'm not. Yeah. Ultra right conservative. You guys, you remember I told you how I was raised. Extreme Christian Southern Baptist puritanical. And I'm telling you, I saw firsthand just how the behavior of Puritans who think they're allied to God will sicken you, because they justify everything. Everything's for your betterment. Everything is just in the eyes of God. Believe me, those little passages in the Bible, suffer not a witch to live. It will be those verses just like that that are going to get. It's basically going to start blood sports, public executions, and every bit of it will be in the name of Jesus. It's coming. Let's see. The U.S. and many other nations will focus on internalizing nationalism, building own infrastructures and their own economies. 2023, violence and war will erupt in the Middle East. This occurs as the United States remains aloof, attends its own affairs, and does not come to the rescue of Israel. 2023, new hostilities between Iran and Iraq. 2023, several Muslim Middle Eastern nations will prepare for war and then engage with Israel. A bank chain collapses at the end of 2022 or beginning of 2023. Gold and silver soars to record highs in both the New York and the London exchanges. A standoff in Washington, D.C. at the White House or the Capitol building. I'm not talking about what already happened in the past. This is about to happen. An unexpected suicide is broadcast on live TV. That's the second time or third time we've come across that reference. Remember, these are all from multiple different data sets. China engage a neighbor in armed conflict over an island or island chain, possibly use of a nuclear submarine. China will win. So China's having a dispute about an island or a chain of islands. I don't know if they are or not, but in the date sequence predictive analytics this year or the beginning of 2023, China's in a dispute with somebody over an island or a chain of islands. And through the threat or use of a nuclear submarine, they win. And it's not a win. It's not a win by the courts. It's a win because they got the biggest dick. It's basically what it is. In late 2022, media reports scientists claim the Earth has received an extraterrestrial transmission. This is a staged event. Remember, guys, they haven't quite decided which way they're going to go with the new Carrington event, the internet takedown in 2023. In the month of September. They haven't decided which way they're going to go. So they want several irons in the fire. One of them is alien invasion, alien virus uploaded into the world infrastructure. Another one is possible nuclear exchange, a super weapon that somebody has secretly developed and it will knock out all communications in the world. Or another one is, like I told you, a rogue AI. This is what Elon Musk is being used by the deep state for, to put out this whole narrative that you guys don't want artificial intelligence. I'm telling you, you don't want Microsoft and you don't want Google to do this. I'm telling you, because it's going to go bad for us. And then they'll be able to bring Elon Musk in as the savior of humanity, who predicted the fall of the internet because he knew for a fact the AI was going to go rogue. So they have irons in the fire. They can use whichever one that the public would buy the most. And they don't know that yet. Because remember, the deep state is just like any other intelligence operation. They use think tanks. Think tanks involve people from multiple different backgrounds. They put them together and they give them scenarios. They give them dossiers, and they go through the dossiers and then they come up with all kinds of scenarios. And then the scenarios that are come up with think tank A are compared with those that were come up by think tank B and think tank C. And then a whole nother echelon of intelligence operatives and analysts will go through the material and they'll put their output with it. And next thing you know, as it goes up the chain, it's refined to a perfect strategy that will fool 90% of the world. So anyway, that's how that works. Member of the British royal family will pass away or come up missing before Christmas. All right, this is the second prediction of a death in the royal family. This one was 59 days ago. Actually, it was 37 days before the Queen died. The other one was 231 days before the Queen died. All right, Romania. And not every year does a member of the royal family die. So it's a unique prediction. Let's see, Romania. Romania maintains peace through 2022 and 2023. New conservative religious U.S. leadership in 2023 will file antitrust suits against big tech companies. They will use the court system to retaliate for the liberal reign over the media. Oh, they will do it. They're going to do it. Conservative Republicans give full reign to go all the way to the far right to mirror how far left the liberals went. It's going to get like that, guys. 100%. So in summary, look, for half a century, the Western powers have been at the economic forefront led by the WEF, the World Economic Forum. But Russia has again played wild card and disrupted the Western power structure with the events in Ukraine. Russia is in a strategic partnership. This is what a lot of people don't know. It's in a strategic partnership with powerful economies of India and China and the rising economy of Brazil. They have formed a compact. I don't remember what it's called, but they've got a name. They got an acronym that goes with this alliance that they formed. So, so we have the unfolding of a major shift of power to the east. This will significantly weaken the World Economic Forum. This significantly weakens Klaus Schwab and all his cronies. Now, the United Nations is weakened, NATO is weakened, and all those puppets belonging to the WEF who still hold power in the West are about to find out they don't have any more aces left to play. So there will be a transitional period when the Western nations will enjoy a period of house cleaning. That's coming. 2023, 2024, 2025. Yeah. Well, United States, the UK, a lot of Western powers in Europe. Yeah, it's Canada. It's going to be a breath of fresh air as people start internalizing. They start going national. But during this entire time of healing, it's going to be a swing of the pendulum back toward the opposite direction, ultra conservatism to the extreme, to the nth degree. So it's going to happen while the West is going to be distracted with all these basically these socio-political changes. While this goes on, something else is happening that is basically serving as a backdrop to the apocalypse, and that is the rise of the kings of the East. Now, let's see if I covered everything. So all this goes on. A lot of things are going on, but in order to better control the flow of information, the reason why right now we are free to say so much on different platforms is because it's already understood. After September 2023, false Carrington event, takedown of the internet, it's not even going to matter. The control of information will be ironclad. And that's why I started my campaign about 5 months ago to take 100% of all the Archaix data and put it on a little old thumb drive, like I've done, and send them all over the world. And I did that. I announced that I was done with that, but apparently a lot of people want them, so they keep ordering them. But yeah, I did that because I believe 100% in my message, and I believe that that's exactly what their playbook is. It's the only thing that makes sense, and it's perfectly seen in the date sequence predictive analytics and the isometric projections. And for those of you new to listening to me and my channel, you have to understand there's a lot of people that are in the comment thread right now that can educate you because they're very aware of the system and they've practiced it themselves. There are YouTube channels now dedicated to showing the viability of these predictive methods of analysis. This isn't anything that I made up. I don't like to tell people the truth. I like to show them how they can derive the same data themselves. I do this over and over and over. Now, as far as this presentation goes, those of you who just caught the tail end, please go to the description box and download for free basically a transcript of this entire list of 150 plus predictions that have either already been fulfilled, some of them are unfolding now, or we're expecting them between now and the end of 2022 and all the way up until the end of February of 2023, with a few events spread throughout 2023. Such as Middle Eastern War and the false Carrington event. Now, I'm done with that presentation, guys. I hope it took 1 hour and 27 minutes. I have been ignoring my entire deal. Let's see here. Go to my threads. Thank you guys for donations. You guys know when I'm talking, there's no way I can keep up. But like I said, I got Matthew. Matthew's coming on board. Matthew's been a friend for a long time. Matthew's been a stable presence on Facebook in the past. And Matthew is now going to be full-time Archaix. He's going to be helping me out. If you notice, there's significant changes to my studio back here. There isn't a single book anywhere in my entire library back here that is from 1960 and after. Everything is it's actually from 1960 on back, with the majority of the books behind me from 1800s and all the way up to about 1942 or 43. But that's almost the entire, even the books back here, all these books back here, all these are old books. That's my library. Now, I have about 300 other books that are about old text, old translations, old books. Those have been removed because they're about to be installed into an entirely new studio. I will still continue to do videos right here. In here, many of my presentations will be done right here, but live videos for here on out, once that studio is completely done, will be Matthew and I. He will be taking care of the comment section and reading me your questions and basically showing me, what I need to see. So those of you who get turned off about Trump and all that, you have to understand, I am on board with the fact that even though he puts off the air of being a patriot, he's loved by American patriots, and I have nothing bad to say about his presidency and the promises that he kept while he was a president. I have no problems whatsoever. I'm not buying into the international media hatred that the rest of the world sees Trump as. That's the only lens they've really been given. Here in the United States, man, it's totally different, man. We love that man. But I'm not stupid. I know that those in positions of power, the movers and shakers of this world, have to play ball. The deep state is everywhere. There are no people that are just out doing their own thing. The man is too protected. To have so many enemies all wanting him dead for everything that he's done and said, openly said about people in liberal and basically socialist political arena, he is very well protected, and that's for a reason. He's playing a role. So there's going to be a change of the guard. That change of the guard is people are going to party. They're going to hold maybe orgies. I don't know. There's going to be so much relief and happiness, but it's all staged. Every bit of it. It's a period of decompressing before another darkness begins. And I don't want to get dark on you guys, because you also know my principal message is not doomsaying. I'm going to tell you what's happening in the future, year by year by year. But I'm telling you now, you don't have to participate in it. And you know, those you already know. You carry your own informed field, and that informed field will govern your life. There's an interactive exchange of information between you and the similosphere. That similosphere will reflect to you exactly what you build and project from your informed field. If you want to suffer the things of the collective will embrace you. But if you want to remain aloof and distant and observe the world around you and be immune to the things that go on around you and live a really unique and good life, you can do that too. But it has to be an active decision, one that you do daily. So like I said, I don't want, this video is not like my others. I'm not gonna spin this off into a We Immortals video. If you need some pep talk, if you need to hear some really deep and good things that will make you vibrate on a much higher frequency, so you can begin to comprehend some of the Archaix data, which I understand can be complex, then We Immortals playlist will do that for you. That's what it's designed for. Pick any of those videos. They're all inspirational. Now, some of my podcasts and live videos are too, but the We Immortals playlist is designed for those who are vibrating on a low frequency and need to be raised. So anyway, let me get to this comment section. I can't believe I talked for an hour and 30 minutes like that off that little presentation. You guys know I've given way bigger presentations than that. Yeah, man, religion's something else. Zilla, I agree. We need a new party. Republicans don't have all the answers. Break free or die trying, Pamela. Man, did I have any announcements? I don't remember. I guess I don't. Yeah, new guys, download that free PDF in the comments section. Yeah, and some of you with fat wallets. Oh, I seen $5.08 max head rush. I see you, man. 3.14 times 1.618. That's a really good donation. I appreciate that. That's curvature equation. I'll be adding those new emojis too for the members, so you have something else to play with. I think we have Tome Warden, Druid. There's a third one, Sybil. Yeah, those three are about to be added for sure. For members, we're going to have a logistics meeting at the beginning of the month. And like I told you guys, I don't practice exclusions. Every single person subscribed or not subscribed to the Archaix channel has access to 100% of my uploads and my live videos, all my content. I'm not going to hide anything from you. But my members will be participating in logistics conversations, because I am first to admit that I don't have all the answers, and that I don't I'm really good at taking constructive criticism, but it has to be delivered as constructive criticism. Not some troll showing up on the channel who's been triggered and cognitive dissonance kicks in and they just going off. And yeah, I don't deal well with that. I answer them and most of them delete their own comments, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who want to see the success of our Archaix, people who want to see the internet footprint widen so other people can be educated. We got 350 videos here and they contain a tremendous amount of data. Remember, guys, over 200 of them were just uploads that were done before I ever did any podcasts, just to get the data out there for people to be able to assess. Now, there's a lot more people who are interested in this material, but I am not tech savvy. I am not a marketer. I'm a researcher. I'm also an effective communicator because I had to. Communications will save my life on multiple occasions. So I need help. And the best way I can do that is my members will basically give me the information that I need. I'm going to take notes. Matthew and I are going to take notes and we're going to record those videos. And my members are going to give me advice, what directions I need to go, what other platforms do I need to upload, how do I go through those methods. People send me emails all the time trying to help me, but that's just an email. I appreciate the help, but when you get hundreds of emails, then I get bogged down. Now it becomes like homework, and I can't respond to all of them, but people are all providing valuable information. But in the form of a video, I'll be able to absorb all this, understand. I can write it down real quick, what needs to be done, and I can just focus on one project at a time to make Archaix better. Okay, need a better microphone? Got that. People are complaining about it. I'll get a headset. I'll get all these things that I hear in pieces. I need to assimilate all into one whole, and I can't do that alone. That's why Matt's coming on board. When Matthew's here, I'll be able to just itemize a list of everything I need to do, all the changes I need to make. Because there's a lot of other things like I have a guy that when I send him money on PayPal because he does a really good job, and he basically takes my PDFs that I don't have Word files of, and he edits them for me and reformats them for me and sends them to me as a Word file so I can take new data and introduce them into old books that I haven't had published yet. And so, I mean, little things like that. I got all these projects and irons on the fire. I've got so much material I'm working with, I get bogged down. I'm human just like anybody else. Sometimes I just need to get out of my studio, get on my motorcycle, and just hit that highway and go 80 miles an hour, and the world will be damned. And I go through those spells, once or twice a week, and I come back and I feel good. But I feel relaxed. But yeah, so that's what my membership is for those who want to support Archaix and those who want to be a part of the decision-making process in which avenues we go, which directions we're going to head in. People who offer me advice or whatever. I mean, whatever. So I really appreciate you guys, because I do not have all the answers. Although I've often been accused of that. Let's see. Yeah, I can't go all the way up. Go back down. I didn't really plan on doing a Q&A. I'm just looking for some random questions here. Yes, quantum paradox. It's not going to be immediate, but yes, that shit is on the table. The Noahide laws. But it's going to take a series of Supreme Court rulings, and it's also going to. But you can see how fast things change. Oh man, they can change fast. It's going to take some. Yeah, that shit's coming back, man. There's no doubt. We're going to the far right. That's what this whole thing is. I mean, even any common sense trier of fact objectively watches every news report that's unfolded since Biden took office. If you just sit there and watch all the news, it doesn't make sense unless there is a third party feeding all this information to the media for the media to deliver it to us. This third party is operating by an agenda to basically strike all of our psychological chords and to create such chaos that the only conclusion we can possibly make is that none of this shit could be real. There's no way a party could be either this stupid or this evil. So Yeah, they've taken us to the far left, but the ride is about to switch gears, and we're going to go to the far right. Did we go to the far left immediately? No, it took years. So the same thing's going to happen. Remember, this is prod and pull. This is nothing but bread and circuses. None of the details matter. The reason it's bread and circuses, what do the elite need the populations of the world to do? Not only vibrate on the negative frequency, like negative default programming, stay in that fear mode, but what do they really need us to do? They need us to be distracted while they hunker down. The Phoenix is real. It's coming, and they know it. So taking us to the far right ultra conservative is only going to introduce the same problem. Now there's going to be a leftist liberal front that rises up about 10 years from now and is going to start fighting back because we went too far right. Back and forth until the Phoenix shows up. Now, let's see. Love the Light United. BRICS, that's what it's called. BRICS, that's right. That's exactly what it is. Britain, Russia, India, China, Brazil's in on it. Russia, India, China. I didn't know Britain was a part of it. But yeah, they're about to bring the EU down. They're about to bring NATO down. They're about to bring United Nations down. The WEF, World Economic Forum, they already see the writing on the wall. They're about to come down. It's what you just said, BRIC. That's what it's called. But I don't think it has a K in it. I think it's a C. BRICS, BRICS. But yeah, that's it. It's a new economic alliance. It is. It's just like the eschatology shows in the book of Revelation. The rise of the kings of the East. This is what it is. This is what it is. 100%. Jason, do you know something juicy about October 31st in earlier times? October 31st, I don't know anything about it, but over centuries, it somehow was separated from the actual worldwide ancient, from the old Bronze Age cultures, the Day of the Dead. The day the entire world died, November 1st. I show on my channel several times, November 1st is the exact day every 792 years the Nemesis X object appears in the sky. It is the Day of the Dead. It is absolutely connected to tragedies in the human experience where the survivors thought they were the only people left in the world. So yeah, it's only later in European times did it become All Hallows Eve, did it become Halloween. The November 1st Day of the Dead is ancient, and it goes back to a cataclysm from very distant times. Listen well, 99. Are you hired by a think tank? That's a good question. That's a good question, man. But anybody can research my history. As a matter of fact, my criminal history has brought me up under scrutiny because, you know, a lot of people don't like the fact why I went to prison. I was 17 years old, 32 years ago, and some people can't deal with that. And that's cool. They can leave my channel. I don't care. But everything about, I mean, from the very beginning, I went by Jason Brashears and never hid my identity, ever. So, and there are people who listen to my channel who have known me since I was a child, since I was a kid. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, I'm not hired. I've been accused of being a government operative and all that. But what it is we live in a society where the last 25 years, everybody's been addicted to the computer. They've been addicted to getting information from an alternate source, an alternate source. I never had that advantage. All I had was books, and I read books, and I absorbed the material. But I was often forced to read books that did not interest me because there was nothing available. So I would read everything I could come across because I spent a tremendous amount of my life in prison. And in prison, I didn't have a really wide selection of books. Now, I did have access to a lot of very old books, but when those ran out, I had to read the regular library books. And then I used to order books every single month and spend my own money ordering books from different catalogs. So I had benefactors. I had a publisher. They sent me books as well. My family sent me books. I always had something to read, but it wasn't always what I wanted to read. And that's why I basically became the person I am today. The assimilation of so much data, some of it that wasn't even searched for, I just retain it very well. And the retention of so much information is basically what led me to being an effective communicator. And I get that a lot of people in today's society look down on me because I'm an ex-felon and I spent 26 years in prison, and they can't wrap their mind around how I educated myself while I was down there. They just don't get it. They don't understand that chores, raising children, having hobbies, the transit time from your house to your office, and then from your office to back to your house every single day. You can imagine, while you were living your lives for a quarter of a century doing all the different things that you were doing, I wasn't. I was sitting in a prison cell absorbing data, reading everything and taking notes. So I get it that I'm an anomaly, and that a lot of people automatically it invokes in their mind disbelief and distrust. I get that, but the only armor that I have against this heightened scrutiny that's been used against me is the force of my character, and that is exhibited through all 350 something of my videos. So if somebody can't measure the rhythm of my ways and basically ascertain the architecture of my personality based off the information that I'm divulging to people, and that they see that my life has been a struggle since I've been out of prison, and I've shared those details in my earlier videos. I've done videos out of a wooden shack. I've done all these things. So I can't persuade people who don't want to be persuaded that I'm genuine. And I'm cool with that, because there's 100,000 channels and I'm often inviting people to get the hell off mine. So I'm cool with that. Gerald Massey, love that guy. Mike Snow's mentioning Gerald Massey. Yeah, Mike, I told you it was big. Yeah, you told me you were going to order that book. Listen, you might have got the original edition, which is huge. The edition I wrote, mine was volume 1 and volume 2. Ancient Egypt, Light of the World, The Natural Genesis. There's 2 different Gerald Massey books. And Mike, when you're done reading those, there's a book about 300 pages thick called Gerald Massey Lectures. Somebody followed Gerald Massey around in the 1800s and used an old typewriter and was typing all his lectures as he spoke, and they published those. You can get that book, Gerald Massey's Lectures, at the Book Tree in San Diego. You can send me an email. I'll send you their 1-800 number. How you order books. I love Gerald Massey. I tell people in my videos, Thomas Burgoyne, Gerald Massey, Harold T. Wilkins, Albert T. Clay, Samuel Noah Kramer. We don't have men. Kingston, Lenormand. We do not have researchers today. I include myself among these living today who are even equal to the historians of 100 years ago. Not people. They thought with an entirely different caliber. That's why I cite them all the time. That's why I got their books behind me right now. Jason, will you give predictions for Greece? I may need to, as close as they are to that unfolding conflict. I may need to. It's not that I don't want to, guys. It's that there's only so many hours in a day. So I don't want to, I'm always, I get this panic that wells up in me once I've done too many live videos or podcasts. Now, I haven't done a lot of live videos, so I'm cool. I feel all right. But when I start doing too many podcasts, I get this panic in me because I feel that new people coming to the channel don't understand that there is a tremendous amount, thousands of pages worth of data sets that have been revealed in my first 200 and so videos that show you the mathematical architecture of the reality we in and how unreal it is. And I feel these podcasts take away from the fact people don't understand. You listen to me the first time and it's through a podcast. Then you want to know more, so you click onto another podcast by somebody else, and then you think you're getting an education because you're hearing me communicate the different ideas and concepts that I've come to accept as true through podcasts. But I'm always telling people podcasts are not data dumps. You need to go watch my original presentations to understand why I made each cognitive leap to where I'm at today. So the podcasts, I'm real iffy about those. I'm probably not going to do any right now. I got people wanting me to, but I'm going to wait. I got some big podcasts coming up that are later in October, but I need to I got to get my original material out. You guys know I got a tremendous amount of, I got 500 videos in me at least, and that number is not diminishing with each new release. I've got that much data. I got that much material to continue releasing to show you guys these beautiful mathematical constructions that we call history. So yeah, we got more presentations coming. That's why I got to slow down on these podcasts. Let's see. That's right, David Webb, 5.08. It's one of the magic numbers. I haven't looked into that, Adam Gatley, about the Prince of Wales. I haven't even looked into that. Don't know anything about it. New Zealand's history is just, you're geographically so alienated from the rest of the world. Australian predictions would almost apply to you equally. Anything for a Harley, huh? Yeah. I'm going to do some videos from my bike with this GoPro right here. Once I figure out how to use it, I already tried to turn it on and sync it to my phone, and I had it working for a little while. Like I said, guys, I'm tech retarded. I'll figure it out. Kathy Rennick, what about the fact that history was changed? Are you talking history books were changed, or the construct we know of history was changed? I actually go into depth on both of those concepts in many of my videos. But Phoenix is keeper of the calendar. It is the discovery of a mathematical construct that overrides every reset, every timeline that's been altered, every coincidence, synchronicity, every time we've been Mandela'd. There is one mathematical construct that never changes. And this is what got my channel popular from the beginning. It's the Phoenix timeline. It remains unchanging no matter what the calendars, no matter what biospheres are activated. It is every 138 years in the month of May, unbroken 58 centuries. So, and I'm about to do a video on that just to re-educate people. Plus, I have new entries to add about the Phoenix. But the new video will be me drawing with all my new art supplies and art table. I'm drawing a whole new chart. Just like those 350 charts you guys have come to see in my videos, I'm now doing one on the camera, but with actual tools of the trade that I've never had access to before when I was doing the charts in prison. So we're going to draw some fantastic charts. Let's see. Thank the universe. Have you found, man, my shit keeps jumping. I'm technically challenged. Yeah, I get that. I don't know what you mean, Katie 1080. 1080 is a significant number. 1080 Annus Mundi, the building of the Great Pyramid, after 90 years, which is exactly 1080 months. 1080, there are 1080 bricks in the altar of Agni in ancient India. Hipparchus published over 2,500 years ago that the fixed stars were 10,080 in number. Number comes up everywhere. Sure does. As a matter of fact, there's an ancient Arabian altar that was said to have 360 eyes on 3 faces, which is 1080. But yeah, there's so many traditions about the number 1080. It's crazy. The abbreviated form being 108, the number of beads on a Buddhist rosary. So crazy. So crazy. Thank you, Athenia. Athenia Hera. I believe that's Greek. So, guys, I wanted to get this presentation out, and I have a few people that are expecting the link. Some people that have their own social media channels and radio and stuff like that. I need to send this link to real quick. No sense making this unnecessary long. I do appreciate you guys for joining me. Remember, I'm looking for somebody. I know somebody's already thinking about doing it, but we should have a web page that everybody can, like a suggestion box, with every single one of these predictions itemized that's on the PDF, because the PDF is very specific as to the exact date the prediction was made. And equally so, if my channel is ever taken down, there's over 480 people in the world that have this flash drive. This flash drive has all the predictions when they were made, the playlist for the what is that? Well, all the data is also recorded in the playlist. For a lot of people have ordered the playlist, the predictions playlist. I don't know why I just had a brain fart. The predictions playlist. A lot of people have downloaded my predictions playlist, or have asked me to upload it onto a USB and send it to them. So it's not. I'm not really worried about. The data is not going to get lost. We have the videos right now in my predictions playlist on YouTube right now. Anybody can go watch those videos and see. Excuse me, and listen to those predictions. So I'm losing my voice because this coffee's already gone cold, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to go feed my dogs. Love you guys.